Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, March 28th, 2025 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is I am responsible for allowing who I am to shine through. Here we are, the day before our second eclipse of this year. Winding down this eclipse corridor. But building to the intensity of the eclipse. Now, in my mind, this eclipse is like kind of tiptoeing in, which is interesting for Aries. And it feels like there might come a little extra intensity after the eclipse. But be aware, like, it is here. It is upon us. We actually have the moon today moving into Aries, which is definitely going to increase whatever energies we're feeling in alignment with this eclipse. But a good portion of the day we have the moon finishing up in Pisces, doing a lot of karmic cleanup work, and a lot of working whatever emotional energies need to be worked at this time. So we have the moon starting the day by connecting to Mars. Now this will be while many of us are sleeping, but we may have some emotional experiences in dream time, helping us process, move through energies. The dark of the moon is when things that have been like hidden down under can come up and be expressed. And so between that and then the moon connecting to Saturn early in the morning as well, again, just kind of processing some old things. So, you know, if you have some weird dreams, if you have some old things that have like cycled around coming up in your dreams or in your experiencing, this makes sense. This is part of the karmic unfolding, karmic unwinding. Moon and Uranus are connecting early in the morning as well. That's some lazy cat stuff. We've got Uranus in Taurus, the moon in Pisces, and this is ushering in, by the way, a sextile between Saturn and Uranus. Saturn is hitting 24 degrees, which is where Uranus is currently at. So this is kind of like preparing, paving the way for that sextile, again, coming in after. But there's some leveling up that's going to happen in and through your lazy cat. So just remember that if you're feeling extra sleepy, you need extra meditation, extra downtime, keep that in mind that there's some work being done. I often feel that like when the universe knocks us out, when we feel tired and like, there's no reason I should feel tired. The universe is like, work in progress, right? Like there should be a sign out there. People with hard hats like, just keep moving, work in progress here. There's some stuff going on inside. So we have that incoming and the moon is kind of activating it. But this is all part of like, again, the words that I'm getting is karmic cleansing, a deeper karmic cleansing going on, helping us for some new cycles coming in. I mean, one of the biggest new cycles coming in is Neptune leaving Pisces for the first time in about like 13 years to move into another sign, to move into Aries on Sunday. So on top of the eclipse, like that's why I feel like the eclipse is like, it's tiptoeing in because it's like kind of paving the road for Neptune in Aries, which has a very different vibe and definitely kickstarts a new cycle of sorts that we're gonna explore, but we're gonna explore that in a few days because first eclipses, right? Moon is then going to take a little time and meet up with Venus and Neptune before shifting out of Pisces into Aries. So moon and Venus, did I say that? I don't know what I said. Moon and Venus is always an interesting connection, especially in dark of the moon, because you know, Venus is where we want to love ourselves. We want to have, you know, good self-worth. We want to know that our talents are worthy, you know, that everything's wonderful. And yet sometimes the moon can be like, well, hey, you've got some places where you're really not loving on yourself. You're kind of hating on yourself. You're being an inner hater. You're being a secret hater of yourself in here. And we've got to look at that. And the Neptune piece, because Venus and Neptune are just, you know, hanging out there together still, that Neptune piece may reveal some patterns that, again, are beyond this lifetime. And so just know, in this karmic cleansing, and part of like maybe the like sleepier, snoozier energy that's happening, these are some old, really old patterns. They may be ancestral, they may be from multiple lifetimes, places, spaces, and so this work is deep. So please just have a little reverence and a little compassion for yourself in any way you are unfolding in the day. The moon will move into Aries at 1:36 p.m. Pacific time. And that's when I think like some of these energies are going to be heating up. Now it's interesting because the last connection that the moon in Aries makes before this new moon partial solar eclipse is with Pluto. And that's going to be Friday evening around 7 p.m. Pacific time. Now this is a sextile. Aries and Aquarius sextile each other. And I feel like the combination of Aries and Aquarius is so what these energies are about. And it's about freeing your truest self, freeing you to be your vibrationally wonderful, dynamic, youiest you. And I even think that the other eclipse that we had in Virgo is part of that too, for healing these layers and allowing them through. But it's interesting to me, like I said, the last connection that the moon makes is with Pluto. And this eclipse doesn't really have any major connections. It's just the sun and the moon hanging out, 9 degrees Aries, which is, again, where Mercury went retrograde and right where Venus went retrograde. So there is some impact there. But it's kind of a quieter eclipse energy in the form of, like, not too many aspects going on. So this aspect of the moon and Pluto meeting before the eclipse feels important. It feels like, okay, this is the lesson that we want to get from this. And part of the lesson of Pluto in Aquarius is allowing our vibrations to be big and strong and true, and us to pay attention and empower our vibrational energies and know the power of vibrational energies. And moon in Aries is like, you have permission to be yourself. In fact, please be yourself. The universe keeps asking us to be ourselves, to heal these layers. And I think that that is the point of these eclipses, this season of eclipses, is you being you peeling through the layers where you're still judging yourself and you're still shitting on yourself and you're still living according to how other people have told you to live and be, rather than allowing yourself to be free and you. And beyond that, recognizing the divinity in and through and of who you are. Now, the moon also will connect with Mercury a little bit earlier than that moon Pluto, but Mercury has been also retrograding through the sign of Aries, just like Venus, and helping us move through these layers. So you may find some inner child stuff coming up. You may find ego. I think sometimes one of the biggest boxes that we get put in is the box our egos put us in. And so having awareness of that and your inner child energy can help you break through some of the places, the walls, the ice that you have found yourself holding back. It's always good to look where Aries is in your chart. Looking from your sun and from your ascendant can give you a key of where and what you're working on. But I think all of us have some layer of inner child coming up with this. And when it comes to Aries, ego can always be a part of it, because that's just part of the Aries energy. It's part of the Aries energy. It's part of the Leo energy. And it's good that, that we can face it in these things. I am going to do a scope for Saturday for the eclipse specifically. But again, the Sabian symbol for 9 degrees Aries is a crystal gazer. And the keywords are inner realization of organic wholeness and concentrated attention to something. And I think the concentrated attention that we're making in this eclipse is a concentrated attention on ourselves and who we are and our place in the world, and how we're being called forth, because I do think it's us allowing ourselves to be our truest, youest selves that heals the world, and it heals us too. So we have this, the healing card showing up in this, and I just think that this is a big part of it. We also have the existence card, which is the magician card, which I think goes hand in hand with a crystal gazer, a crystal ball. Like, who do you want to be? Because I think that that's part of it. Like, these things that we have, these dreams, they're a piece of the puzzle to be aware of in this energy. So there's some weird cat sounds going on in the background. You probably cannot hear it, but like, what is that? We also have the postponement card. And I think that that's part of all this energy, is that sometimes we expect these astro energies to be like, and like I said, sometimes they kind of tiptoe in, but it doesn't make it any less major. I feel oftentimes these eclipses specifically kind of bring us some downloads that over time we open, because the universe does not want to like overwhelm us with the stuff. So just keep that in mind with this. Just FYI, on Saturday, apparently the partial solar eclipse will be at 1:50 a.m. Pacific time. I think that's the time you can begin viewing it, and it's more visible in Europe, in North Asia, North and West Africa. So we're not really seeing it here over in the States, and that's okay. And then the new moon happens right around 4 a.m. Pacific time. So I don't know, maybe we can see a little bit of the eclipse like in the morning, like the ending of it. I love the website timeanddate.com, and if you find their section on eclipses, it'll tell you via your nearest local city, like if you can see the eclipse, how much of the eclipse you can see, what time you can start seeing it, what time it reaches its peak, what time it ends. And so if you're into that, check that out, because, you know, it's good to have that information. Our final card from Divine Abundance is non-duality. And it says, let your authentic humanity shine forth while also bowing to the inner divine. You can become fluent at doing both. And I think that's a good reminder of who we are. We are human, and we're meant to experience things humanly. And that's good and cool, even if it's a little messy. The messy is okay. Don't tell Virgo. The messy is okay. And we are this divine creature. I always am reminded of my favorite Rumi verse, you are the soul of the universe, and your name is love. And I think that's the core and the chord of light that's in all of us. It's pure love, and we're just working through all these layers to get back to that. So I'm gonna leave that there for today. Take it easy on yourself. Give yourself time to lazy cat, meditate, and gaze into a crystal ball at what you would like to create with your beautiful self. And besides all that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and may your guiding light be strong, and know that you can trust your unfolding process. Namaste.